Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. First, thank you for the invitation. And it's really a honor to be here today with you. Well, today I'm going to walk through the IFU microbiological methods. So I will briefly explain what is the IFU working group, because you experts, you are also invited to participate in this group. In fact, I will tell you what this group is developing. And I will go briefly through the IFU recommendations and methods, and I will also tell you what is being cooked right now, what we are working with. Of course, any input from your side will be welcome. Also, I will let you know, some of you already know, that we have this liaison with the ISO technical working group for microbiology, and some take-homes. So, what is the IFU working group? As Tatiana explained, we have different commissions and working groups. We have 3 commissions: legislation, science, technology, method of analysis, and we have working groups that are very active, I have to say. It's microbiology, nutrition, and sustainability. Tatiana also mentioned them, and I'm going to focus on the microbiology one. Just as an explanation, we have 65 chemical methods, we have 19 recommendations, and for microbiology we have 10 methods and 2 recommendations. And I will go through all these 12 things today. By the way, I forgot. All IFU companies that are using IFU methods, or also companies that are not members but are using IFU methods, are entitled to use this logo which says user of IFU methods. So if you want, you can use it, based that they are using the IFU methods, obviously. So who is in this microbiology working group? We have the chair, Andreas Politzer, he's from ADM. We have the vice chair, Barbara Gerten, she's working for Merck. I'm pretty sure most of you know both of them. And a part of them, we have 60 experts from the industry. So it's really a big working group. We do all the meetings online, so this is an advantage, because we have people that participate from Vietnam, we have people participating from different countries in Europe, people participating from Egypt, South Africa, people participating from the Americas. So we do everything online, so this is an advantage. And not all the meetings will have all these people, but normally, we have an important number of participants, and it's increasing, which is good, means that what we are doing is interesting. So what are the methods? The methods basically are fit for purpose, defined by a group of experts from the world industry, and the aim of these methods is to assess the quality and safety of the juices. So all these methods, you can download them in the IFU website. You see here the website, so you have the method of analysis, you scroll down and you have there the microbiology methods. A part of that, you have also the list of all the methods, chemicals and micro. And I want you to pinpoint one thing. If you see the list, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12. Why is this? And lately I have had a lot of questions saying, where is number 7? Well, number 7 is not longer here, because number 2 was recently, I will tell you about it later, was revised, and we have integrated number 7, which was the sterility test, into the number 2. So don't go and try to look for number 7, because it's not longer there. But the method is in the number 2. So, as I said, all the list is available on the website, and I will go quickly through all this that you probably know. So the first one is the microbiology examination related to fruits and vegetable juices. So there are general laboratory instructions. How to do the total account by a pour plate method, pre-enrichment for the method of sterility test, and the most probable number technique, and membrane filtration. So it's an explanation of all these techniques. So here we come to the new number 2, that, as I said, includes the old number 2 and the old number 7, so we have only one. And in this method, we are including the 3 procedures, so by plate technique, filtration, and enrichment. And we are following the ISO methodology. So we have the principles, the description of the method, the description of the growth media, incubation times and temperatures, and of course, how to express or how to give the results. So this is number 2. And the good thing is that we have validated this method. We have done a ring test, and the numbers, we have the reproducibility and the replicability available in this method. So number 3 is just for the yeast count procedure. So we have the general count of yeast, osmotolerance, preservative-resistant yeast count, and we have, as I said before, also this principal method, growth media, incubation, and expression of results. Same for molds. In number 4, we have the same. We have the general yeast count, mycotoxigenic molds count, and preservative-resistant yeast count. So this is traditional microbiology. And you know that for molds, sometimes it takes a long time, many days, sometimes even weeks, to get the result. But it's what we have at this moment. We have number 5 for lactic acid bacteria. So we have, the method is focusing on certain lactic bacteria. And we describe what kind of growth media it's better for this kind of bacteria. We try to avoid spore-forming bacteria as well, so then the results are not disturbed. We also include the morphological appearance with a microscope. And we also have the description of the staining for the gram-positive bacteria. Number 6, we have specific for mesophilic and thermophilic bacteria and spore count. So here we include these bacteria that can form spores, like the Clostridia and some bacteria, some bacillus. And these spore formers, they could be mesophilic. This is that they like warm temperatures, and the thermoduric and thermophilic that really they like and they can resist high temperatures. So in this process, we explain how we have to inactivate first the vegetative forms of these bacteria. We have to kill them, so we are sure that only the spores are surviving. And then we have to also promote that these spores vegetate again. So this is what we call the shock treatment, and this is also explained in this method. Number 8 is for the alternative, is a description of alternative rapid methods, which is very interesting for the industry because we need to have results in a short time. And in this method, this recombination of methods, we have a description of electrical methods, of biochemical methods. So this is the account of ATP concentrations by bioluminescence. So we have, like we have these lights coming out, and immunological using ELISA and genetic tests like the PCRs to try to find out the gene amount. Then we have number 9, which is specific for tomato juice. Tomato has a specific pH. It's a bit it's different from the regular juices. And here we describe the pork plate method, the sterility testing, and if we think or we suspect that there might be a thermoacidurans bacillus, then it's better to go to number 6, which I explained before, that's specific for bacteria that are likely to survive in higher temperatures. So depending on that, either you use the number 9 or the number 6. Then we have number 10, which is the explanations for spoilage microorganisms that survive in low acid and high pH vegetable products. So basically, we are focusing for Clostridium botulinum. This method is not to detect the botulinum toxicity molecule. That's not for that. It's just to detect if the bacteria is there, if the Clostridium is there. And obviously, it's very important to do this test to make sure that your product is sterile. I mean, that you have gone through these high temperatures and that all the spores have been eliminated. Then we have the number 12 that was produced in 2019. And this is specific for the Alicyclobacillus, which is probably, you know, and if you don't know, you better not know. It's a nasty microbe because, I mean, it's not harmful for the health, but it causes a lot of economical losses to the companies that have it. And it's really kind of difficult to get rid of it once you have it in the factory. So again, in this method, we described it for the 3 different enumeration procedures, like the pour plate, filtration, and enrichment. And again, with this method, we have validated it. We have performed the ring tests, so we can say that you can apply it with because it's effective according to the results we got in the ring test. I go now for the recommendations. The recommendations, we have recommendation 1, which is a list, a compilation of microorganisms that are pathogenic, so they have an impact on health, and that could occur in juices. Fortunately, this is not very often because juices normally have a low pH and very few organisms can survive in this matrix. But still, we have to take into account the possible bacterial pathogens, like the non-spore formings, like Salmonella, Escherichia, Listeria, Campylobacter, and also the spore forming. Those are, a bit more difficult to handle because they can survive the pasteurization. And then we have to think of Bacillus cereus, Clostridium botulinum, and Clostridium perfringens. And we have to also think of protozoal pathogens, like these animals that are already unicellular, and viruses as well. It's also not very common, but I don't know if you heard that not long ago there was an outbreak in Spain with strawberries, with viruses, with hepatitis B. So normally the thermal treatments are able to kill these viruses, but if the thermal treatment is not, for whatever reason, good enough, you may have some problems with hepatitis or also with novel viruses. So in this recommendation, we have a description of what are the ideal conditions for these different pathogens to survive. So then you have to make sure that you are putting your conditions that are not ideal for them to survive. And we have the new recommendation number 2. This is, we just launched it last month, and it's a recommendation how to calculate the heat treatment for the fruit juice and beverages pasteurization. So we have an introduction. We have a list of indicator microorganisms that help you to know that your product is already stable and without micros. And also allows you to calculate the thermal impact on those microorganisms. There are some heat rent context definitions. I mean, it depends on the flow of the product, and there are some various variables you have to take into account. And at the end, this recommendation they give you some formulas to calculate the holding times you should have in your processing. And also, we are including a spreadsheet as an example to see with what kind of flow you have, what kind of temperature and holding times you should have. So it's a combination of these 3 parameters. So it was something that the expert group said that would be helpful, and that's why we created this. We are still developing new things because the industry has new needs, and we have to be, have to try to serve what the industry needs. So we have the number 13. This method is finished, the text is finished. We only have pending the validation part, so the ring test. It's taking more time than what we thought, unfortunately. So we are now discussing internally if we should release it first as a recommendation while we do the ring test, and once we have the ring test and if the values are, as I said, reproducibility and replicability correct, then we will upgrade it to a method. So, but this is also in the pipeline. We have the development of the heat-resistant molds. This is also, despite we have the mold and method, we want to develop this. Also, it's quite advanced, and probably we hope to release it quite soon. We have the method 15, which is specific for yeast and molds in a more rapid way. It's going to be based on the microscopic differentiation, so we don't have to wait for such a long incubation times. So it's also, I mean, there will be, it's not going to substitute the traditional micro methods, but it will help to have a quicker result. And of course, we will revise as well the method 3 and 4, which is yeast and molds. And we are working on a third recommendation for stability test of drinks, basically. So this is something we are also working on. And we have the recommendation number 4, which is a list of reference strains that are mentioned in the different IFU micro methods. And this is also, we are using the World Data Center of Microorganisms as the catalog to reference these strains. And it's almost finished. Some of you are also working in this document, and we hope to release it in the next months. So our relation with the ISO, since 2022, we have a liaison with this technical Commission 34, Subcommission 9 for micro. The advantage is that members of IFU can also participate directly in these ISO working groups without going through their national standardization bodies, which is a very long process. Right now, the IFU micro experts are working in 13 working groups within the ISO. So if you are interested and you are members of IFU, you could also go through me. And we participated last year in the General Assembly, which was taking place in Sweden, and this year it's going to take place in USA. Normally IFU is participating remotely, so well, just for you to know. And I also want to take this opportunity to mention that despite they are not directly linked to the IFU micro working group, some other working groups are developing things that are also very useful, like, for example, these best practice guidelines, where they say how to wash the fruit before processing. And if you wash the fruit properly, you are minimizing also the risk of having contaminations, bacteria, spoilage bacteria, and so on. So don't or underestimate this kind of information, because it will be available, and I think it's useful also for the industry. And for example, we have revised this best practice guideline, and we included some updates like the use of ozone, the maximum levels of residual chlorate in food, and the operation procedures for berries, for example, to clean berries. What do I would be very happy if you take some key messages home, which is IFU methods are fit for purpose for juices. So it's just like specific key methods for juices, done by experts from the industry. Of course, the sector needs constant developments, and that's what we are doing within the working groups. We also try to have a uniform approach based on international standards, such as the ISO, and we try to develop all our documents following this methodology validation, so they are sustainably applied in different companies all over the world, so the results can be comparable. And the things that this liaison with the ISO brings us the added value of an international extra recognition. And of course, this brings further benefits for the juice industry. And this is all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention.